Do we actually love people the way Jesus calls us to? Or do we just love people when it's easy? Today we're getting into serving people, trusting God, staying connected to Him, and what real love actually looks like. So 13, 14, 15 of John, jumped into that this week, and I definitely feel like kind of hit me a little bit more than the rest of the little more. I had to take a minute a couple times and just kind of really appreciate what I was reading on these ones.
I mean, they were different for sure. You know, not really loud or flashy. It was just personal.
Yeah, like he knows what's coming. Like he knows what's about to happen. And instead of talking about like his power or his status, he's talking about, how we need to be servants and loving each other, staying connected to him and his father. Just very, I don't know, very intentional on what his message was.
Yeah.
Hey, Taylor,
Yeah.
did you read it?
Yes, I read it. Took me a good while, but I've had a personal experience. We did a thing
You're
in
going to talk about raising some people. I've had enough of that.
no more of that. Me too, man. Enough for a lifetime or two. We did there's a Bible message about this chapter, and we actually, me and one other guy, went up on stage and washed all the youth group's feet, man. I don't know if you've ever smelled a teenager's feet, but they're pretty bad.
Been a while. Those my own feet. Smelled like roses.
Sure. Sure it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that's pretty interesting. I'd like to have been there when they told you that's what you were going to do and see your reaction. Like, oh, that's,
Right. I guess that's what we're doing today.
yeah. Go straight to the back to grab the gloves.
Well, you couldn't just use the hose,
I'd just walk out the back door, dude.
spray
Yeah.
them down with the hose, you know? Like that's a little more modern, right?
Yeah. I think it doesn't hit the same, but yeah.
But I mean, at least these kids mostly wore socks. Back then,
What do you mean mostly?
I don't know, dude. They've had holes probably, and it's been 15 years since I've
Worn a pair of socks.
No, there's
lived
people.
that
I
hippie
wear
lifestyle.
around the house. I will throw my Hey Dudes on without socks. That's a thing. Maybe not all day. That might be a little gross, but
Back when I was in high school, I think it was Sperry's. Everybody had the Sperry's with no socks.
I
I don't
remember
know.
this.
I don't. I'm not really cool like that. So
They're just boat shoes, basically.
Yeah, boat shoes.
there's a song about boats and shoes.
Shoes.
Isn't it boats and shoes?
I think the S is at the end.
Oh, all right then. We're steering away from music today. Marty's gonna
For,
kill me in a minute though.
for now, yeah.
Yeah. So John 13. Obviously, this is they're like hanging out. This is where he does wash their feet, and 13, 14 is actually one of the verses I wrote down. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I think what I thought was interesting was the reaction around that, and Peter's reaction. Like, I don't know. I think even though he does later, we'll talk about that, betrays Jesus or denies him 3 times. He just always seemed like he was like the most
down.
defensive. Like he was like, yeah, like he was the most defensive of them. Like he was always like, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, don't wash my feet. Like you're above that. And um, I thought that was something
I
I
mean,
just noticed from him.
well, I mean, culturally, it's like it's a servant job, like servant work. It's a low position. It's a dirty job, like micro. You guys remember that? We'll
Mike
get away
Rowe.
from that.
Yeah, dirty jobs, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a show, but also Mike Rowe has a really cool podcast. That's called Anyway, or That's How I Heard It or something. I forget. That's how he ends it. But he like tells a story and he doesn't tell you who it is. And then he's like, that's the story of Bruno Mars. Anyways, do you have a verse that you guys wrote down differently than that for John 13?
No, I wrote down the same one, and I think for me, what kind of I came around with it was like, I think pride makes humility hard for people. Whoops.
It's like, that's going to be so funny because our editor, AI, is going to take out that ding that just went into my ear and like shattered my bones. So whoever's listening is just going to be seeing me going, what's wrong with Brad?
But
Anyways, go
yeah,
ahead.
humility makes pride makes humility hard for people, and that's just because everybody wants effort matched, everybody wants loyalty, everybody wants to feel understood, but very few people want to be the first to lower their pride. And I mean, that's what Jesus did. Like, he didn't care.
Yeah, he tells him, he says, you do not realize now what I'm doing, but later you'll understand. And Peter says, no, you shall never wash my feet. And then Jesus says, unless I wash you, you have no part with me. And then he's like, oh, wait, like, change up. Then, Lord, Simon Peter replied, not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well. He's like, you might as well just wash all of it. So it's like a quick change up right
Like,
there.
wait a minute.
He's like, if you're going to do it,
Go big or go home.
I could see him taking off all his robes, just ripping them off. Just saying, man.
he's like, just, yeah,
He,
I'm dirty. I'm dirty.
he's committed.
He's like, Peter, put it back on. Okay. It's like, we're just washing the feet today.
These are the outtakes that didn't make it in the Bible.
Yeah,
Settle down, Peter.
John's like, I think I'm going to just pretend that part never happened. So moving forward from that, like he kind of uses that to tell him like, I'm doing this for you. You need to do this for each other. But then it goes into him saying, one of you is going to betray me. And this is part of like, I think what we talked about before is John, and he kind of, I don't know, it seemed kind of subtle to me, but he's like, Jesus did love him. Like he was one of his, I think he felt like he was his favorite, or there's a couple of things where it seems like he is his favorite. And Simon Peter motioned to this disciple and said, ask him which one he means. So when I read that, I was like, why didn't he just ask him? But I don't know. I kind of was like, maybe it's because he knew. It's kind of like when you were in school, like if you wanted the teacher to do something, you'd go to the favorite student and be like, hey, go ask the teacher for this real quick, you know? But then he asks him, he says, Lord, who is it? And Jesus answers, it is the one to whom I will give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish. Then dipping the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered him. So Jesus then told him, what you are about to do quickly. And that was where I told you, like, I kind of got like this, I don't know, wave of emotion over me, just like almost frozen. what you are about to do quickly.
Yeah, it's just crazy the fact that like he knew Judas was gonna betray him, and like he knew somebody close to him was gonna fold, and then yet he still washed his feet, and that's what's a little crazy for me because like like even in our lives, if we have just one in, interesting interaction with somebody, whether it's family, whoever, like it gets for me, it gets me like emotionally detached for I don't know, like maybe like 3 to 5 business days. I don't know, a little longer than Amazon Prime, but that kind of what challenged me because like especially with family, um, and people close to you, especially with like me personally dealing with some family stuff, that tension with people close to you just feels super heavy. And just for him to be able to do that and swallow his pride and just show like he's able to do that, like it's very it challenged me. And like for me, it's like for me, it's carrying a backpack that you forgot you even had on. You're still moving, you're still functioning, but everything just feels a little heavier than it should. And I think hurt changes a lot of people slowly, like not overnight, not, but like little by little, it's kind of like weighing you down. Like I don't know, maybe how do I say this metaphorically?
I think you should just say it. Actually,
Um, I
just let
mean,
it
it's
out. Let it out, big dog.
I mean, it's just like a water just like wearing down a stone. Like that water's coming, it's heavy. You're still moving, but like you can feel that tension.
I'm just gonna let that sit for a minute. Just let it hang in the air. Drip, drip.
I'm like too deep.
No, I get kind of what you're saying. I think I had some notes that I wrote, just in the context of my marriage. And I don't want to keep talking about my marriage like it's like I don't want people to be like, man, he's a piece of garbage. But um, I think I spent a long time thinking that being a good husband was showing up, providing, doing the vacations, normal life stuff, just like um, being present. And I think if I did what I'm saying is I think I realized I was present, just not always intentional. Like you can say I love you every day and still slowly stop truly showing up. Um, so I know a little bit about your family stuff, and I get what you're saying, but it's um, just pretty awesome that hopefully other people feel the same way because I feel like sometimes I need to be the one that's forgiven and but the way he just knows what Judas is going to betray him, Peter's going to deny him, and he's just treats them the same, like he loves them the same, and that's pretty impressive, pretty awesome.
What's the other verse? Do you have another verse for 13? I think you probably already said it.
Mine just keeps coming back to the what you are about to do quickly. Like it just hurt. I think it hurt me.
Well, I mean, what he gave everybody a new commandment, right? So basically, love each
Do
other
you
just as
do you have one you'd like to tell me? You're like do you have one? Or you got another one? Like did I tell me what I forgot? You tell me what you
no.
want to talk about.
Why are we arguing? Are you mad at me? Are we fighting?
I, you know what? Do what you're about to do. Do it quickly.
Man,
No, you know what? I have a new command for you. I give you love one another. Is that what you were gonna say?
yeah,
That's the
that's
one you
what I
want
was
to talk
gonna
about?
say. So
That's a pretty
everybody
good
love
one.
everybody. That's basically what he was saying. I mean, it's love each other just as I've loved you. Like it's beautiful, until somebody gives you a reason not to. And I think that's like the human part where, I mean, you're kind of talking about it a little bit where, love starts feeling less like a feeling and it's more like a decision. And, still choosing obedience and humility and love even when your emotions don't fully want to. I think that's like the most powerful part of like that where Jesus was able to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. You got me stuck on the loving is a feeling or a decision. Like, I think loving someone is a decision. Like,
Which is
maybe
true.
some people are easier to love than others. You could argue, but the way he puts this here is like love one another, and I think the full verse, love one another as I have loved you, so you must love one another. Um, and we've talked a little bit about my like my counselor I'm talking to, like he kind of talks about bringing the gospel into the world and into your life, and that's kind of a big one. I feel like that's like when you do feel upset or like any level of betrayal that I mean, Judas is the ultimate betrayer. Like we were talking about him the other day, and you guys, one of you looked up his jobs, right? And it was said
Betray.
betrayer.
Right.
So he's like, he was a professional. So any betrayal that we get in our lives, like somebody betrays us, it's nothing compared to what Judas did to Jesus. And he's still sitting here breaking bread. Love one another as I have loved you, so you must love one another. Like that's just like, there's nobody in this world you can walk out of here tomorrow and say that you hate.
Dude, he is number one.
He's him for
He's
sure.
number one. Number three, Benedict Arnold.
What you're talking about,
Oh, people that are hated.
betrayers. I mean, some people might argue that like that's a subjective list because Judas is number one, and then they might put like their ex-wife or something, ex-husband, as number two. But
Hopefully none of our ex-husbands.
yeah, my ex-husband doesn't talk much about me. Thanks
Well,
for that.
number two is Marcus Junius Brutus,
Oh,
Julius Caesar's close friend. Joined the
Tu
conspiracy to
Brute.
assassinate him. I mean, if your ex is trying to assassinate you, maybe. But
Jody Arias.
I mean, those are some pretty top three's pretty crazy.
Yeah. The end of 13 is 38, verse 38. Then Jesus answered, "Will you really lay down your life for me? Very truly I tell you, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." And that's when he's talking to Peter, and he tells him, "You're gonna disown me 3 times." And I do have to just say, and I don't know why, like a couple of months ago, as I've been reading more, I love when Jesus says, "Very truly I tell you." It's like the modern day, like, no, I'm serious. Like no cap, as the kids say.
Okay.
Please don't ever say that again.
I think I just got like 10 cool points right there. Like I dropped like
minus.
10 years.
I'm pretty sure
Minus?
there's a negative counter on you now.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
right.
All right. Well, for my fellow old friends, that means no lie. Just saying.
What a gut punch for Peter's soul, just to hear those words coming out of one of his greatest friends.
Yeah, but what a gut punch for Jesus to know that that's true, and just
Yes.
still treat him like that. Like, I don't know. Pretty.
He's like, "Oh," he was just like, "I'll die for you." He's like, "Oh, really?" And
That's a
that's pretty much what happened.
yeah, and there's another it's another thing that this is like for men specifically, something I was reading, and I don't know if it goes directly to this, but it was basically talking about how like men, they'll say, "Oh, I'll die for you," or "die for my family," and do anything for the family. And a lot of times, like they mean they'll like fight a dragon, like you know what I mean. They're gonna do like take literal bullets. And I heard something a while back, maybe 6 months ago or something. Couldn't even. I wish I could tell you where it was from, but they said, "You say that you will die for your family, but would you live for them?" And that's like stopped me for a minute because that's kind of felt that like, especially like I was in law enforcement for a long time, so like actually taking a bullet for someone was not like next to impossible. And there's plenty of police officers that have taken that bullet, so it wasn't like a far fetched thing. But to hear like, okay, but will you live for your family? Like, and I think Taylor, you got that little girl that does in the other room. Like to think about her seeing you live, how much more important that is than dying for them. Like that's a lot. I think it's pretty deep.
Damn, Brad, it's beautiful.
Thanks. I couldn't let you be the only deep individual on the Born Sinners podcast. I'm getting really good at my enunciations.
It'll still mess it up.
Somebody's going to. If we go into 15,
14,
14.
numbers are hard for me.
remember 13, 14,
Yeah,
15.
the
That's
plus
only
one.
3 fingers, buddy.
We're just counting the 3, just counting in chronological.
So 14 I really liked because again, there's a couple times now where I've been reading and I know verses. I have seen them in just the context that people take them and put them on a painting or a picture or something cool. But like to read the context around it, I'm really enjoying that part of it. So that for me, that was the 14:6. It says, "I am the way and the truth and the life." Like obviously, I think we've all seen that on some art in a house somewhere. "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." Did you guys want to say something?
I pretty much summed it up.
Well, I'll say something. I had the verse of I'm 14:27, which is I'm leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart, and the peace I give is a gift the world cannot give. Which I think a lot of people right now, well, for this is where I came with it, is like a lot of people right now, they're trying to build peace on unstable things. And whether it's relationships, attention, validation, wanting somebody to just consistently choose you, um, you just start overthinking everything. And then that conversation, sits in your head like a broken record. Um, sometimes somebody gives you just enough attention to keep your hope alive, and then they don't give you enough consistency to make you feel secure. So, those things kind of drain you. So, it's like trying to read a map while somebody's like changing the destination. And we're about 26 minutes in, Brad.
Nope, it's not right. We're not time. It's not time.
It's about 26 minutes into, but it reminded me of an Incubus quote. And
He's leaving.
Hey, Brad, I'm hurt. Well, it reminded me of an Incubus quote. Is he coming back? He needs to hear this. Are you
Go ahead.
okay?
Incubus,
And
go ahead.
we're back.
Leave it in.
We did. It reminds me of this Incubus lyric where it says, I need a map of your head translated into English so I can learn to not make you frown.
Where I can
Which-
learn to not make you what?
Frown. Like make you sad. Meh.
Does it say meh?
No, it doesn't say meh.
Is this about me? That's so weird.
No.
You trying to not make me frown?
I was
No.
gonna say.
I mean, sometimes I don't even know how to make you laugh, man. You just stare at me dead, stone cold killer.
I think really though, I mean, this isn't about like, I don't know, we could, another episode, you and I could have like a therapy session to figure this out. But I think it all comes down to this. Like, you think that you're funny and you're just not. I'm just messing.
Here you go.
See?
Oh, we see his full stature. Is he really 6'3"?
Oh, he's not 3'2". Also, though, you can't steal my thing and then be like, see, that was funny. That was me being funny and you just stole it.
And just for the people, this is me sitting straight up.
For the people.
I'm taller than 4'11".
Why are you calling them the people? What are you talking to them like that for?
I don't know. Just felt right.
Hey, the people. So something you just said was about like the people. I think you said people again at this point, but it was before you started going
On my tangent.
Musical lyrics. You said something about like people are trying to build something on not firm.
They're trying to build peace on something unstable.
Right.
And I feel like even I do that. I feel like a lot of us have done that.
Yeah, and it reminded me of a quote, and I feel like there was a point in my life where I was like, cool, this is rock bottom, right? Like, this is not good. Everything's falling apart. And I put myself there. And the quote that I heard, because God was like, I think you need to hear this, is by the great J.K. Rowling. It's an author, Marty, not a singer, songwriter.
Oh my goodness.
Familiar with her work?
Do you know what she said? She says, rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life.
I thought you were going to say, you're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I did think the same thing, actually.
Oh my gosh. My brother might actually listen to our podcast if we were going to talk about Harry Potter.
Okay, can you repeat the quote? I'm sorry.
Yeah, rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, isn't there a parable in the Bible about building your house on rock compared to sand?
Yeah, actually.
Are you looking it up, Marty?
Yep.
It's in Matthew 7:24 to 27. It's on the Sermon on the Mount.
So it's Matthew 7. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, go ahead, read it if you got it. I just found the. It's about Jesus. So it's about his word, saying that those that ignore his advice are building their lives on sand, but those that basically heed his advice and they endure wisdom, and they build their house on rock. Is the Reader's Digest version of it. So Jesus describes a wise man who builds on rock, surviving storms because he acts on Jesus' teachings. Conversely, a foolish man builds on sand and his house falls when tested by trials. So yeah, kind of, that's a little more on brand of our podcast. Thanks, Taylor, for bringing that back to the Bible. And I think J.K.
Sorry.
Rowling is like a very What is it?
Secular.
She's also she's people are either really love her or really hate her. She's a controversial topic.
We're building houses on rocks, not the Sorcerer's Stone, guys.
Yeah, I think we're getting off topic here. It's a little
Just a wee
firm
bit.
foundation. There you go, Marty. That's a great song, but you can understand the lyrics, so you probably wouldn't like it. But it's called "Firm Foundation." Have you heard it?
No. You're saying I won't like it because I can understand the lyrics?
You can understand the lyrics. It's not.
They're not deep.
It's by Cody Carnes. The very beginning verse talks about do not let your hearts be troubled. That was another one I wrote down, but I don't know what I was looking at on that one. Oh, that was what I thought was interesting, and I didn't understand this until I was reading other things about it. And it was do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? So part of like that in that time, I guess like if somebody got married, they would build their home, but then they would have like a separate room for like the wife's parents or something. I don't for their family. Like I don't know if it was like a guest room or what, but it's like so that's like kind of why he's saying like I'm going to prepare the rooms for you, and then
So
he
like
tells
a
them, yeah,
in-law suite.
yeah, kind of like a what do they call them these days? The next gen suites.
Lennar Homes?
Oh, can't talk about them. That's copyright. Um, the earlier we read this, he tells the Pharisees, he says, "Where I am going, you cannot come." And then he tells them now, he's like, just like I told them, "Where I am going, you cannot come, but you can basically like you can't come today, but someday you will come with me." I have to find it, but you know what I'm talking about.
14:2. There are many rooms in my Father's house, and I'm going to prepare a place for you.
Yeah, but then later he says, that he says, "I told the Pharisees that where I am going, you cannot come." And then he tells his disciples, "Where I am going, you cannot come right now, but later, you can come later," basically. You guys want to talk for a minute, I'll find it and we'll talk about it.
Or we can just pause. I don't know.
Maybe it's in 15.
Oh snap! We haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
Reading ahead, Brad, you overachiever.
I read all of them, yeah, a couple times. Yeah, so I think 14 was definitely like I've never been like a super anxious person. I've had a couple times in that where I've felt anxious and I'm like, holy cow, this is what that feels like. Um, I think there could be a little bit of that in here, like you know who I am and you know who my father is. Like, so don't worry about it.
And it's true. I mean, I think that's as an anxious person, like completely opposite, but I think that's why God's peace matters so much. Just because if your identity and peace are attached to people more than God, confusion really controls your emotions every time. And I know God's not the author of confusion. So it's like, it's just kind of just what it is. And you just gotta trust.
Yeah. And then in that, he does say here, like, all of this I have spoken while still with you. This is 14:25. But the advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and remind you of everything I have said to you. So there's like kind of almost, and I don't know, somebody might tell me like, you're way off on this, but he's saying like, my Father sent me, my Father is with me, and I'm with the Father. But then he's like, I'm sending the Holy Spirit to you. He's going to come in my name. So I don't know, almost like it's the Holy Spirit is now with us, just like his Father was with him.
It's just hard, man. Like one thing that you said that's really just stuck with me, and I share it a lot to like when I talk with my sisters or my mom is like, sometimes life gets in the way of gets in the way of God. And like it really makes you think like, people make time for what really matters to them. And, there's times where, and it makes you really think like, hey, well, like this matters more than God at this point. And I mean, it's just like, if I expect like, and people being intentional, like with their decisions, like, why would I give a consistent attention to God? And I know life gets busy, work, stress, family problems, mental battles. But
All of the above.
yeah,
Yeah.
because honestly, everybody's carrying something. Everybody's got a cross to carry. And, even with that being true, people still reach for what they generally want connection with. And, they still check in, they make an effort, they create space, maybe not perfectly or or constantly, but just intentionally. And, um, I don't know that I had that conversation with my sister this weekend about, life being too busy for God, and her eyes opened. Her and her husband were like, "Wow, like you're right." I was like, "That's crazy."
But I think that's the same kind of emotions the disciples are going through. They're
Mhm.
so short sighted, kind of like the Pharisees were in previous chapters. It's just like, you're with us now. Where are you going? How can we not follow you?
I feel like what he's really showing them is, if your peace is attached to like him as a person or people, like your emotions are always gonna feel temporary. So, like sometimes we expect people to carry that emotional weight they were never really designed to hold. And that's where, we're supposed to be putting our trust in God just to really get us through those hard times and show us what we need to do. And, the trust is the hardest part, but I don't know. It's just,
Yeah, I think you just transitioned us into John 15 without even like realizing it. But it's kind of what he says at the beginning of that is, I am the vine and you are the branches.
mm,
And apart from me, you can do nothing. So that's the very beginning. He says, I am the true vine and my Father is the gardener. What I like about this is I've heard this analogy a few times because I'm not a gardener, but I would, if I had more time in the day, like if a day was 48 hours, I might do a little bit of it.
and we can Photoshop your thumb screen if you want.
Um, but he basically they cut off the branches that bear no fruit, and then they prune the other branches. And in gardening, like you prune, it sounds. I always was like, wait, you're gonna cut this, but then it's gonna grow more. Like it didn't make any sense to me, and that's probably why I'm not a good gardener. But uh, the analogy he says there is basically like, every branch that does bear fruit, you prune so that it will be even more fruitful.
I
So
was
just go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was thinking of this physically too. Last year I planted a peach tree, a plum tree, a couple of grapevines, and some kiwis. The what's
Go ahead. This is getting good.
no, I was just well, the chickens ate everything in the backyard. Uh,
Did
so
you eat the
my
chickens?
I ate their eggs. I was gonna.
They're not. They're not.
I know
They're not.
exactly where you're going with that.
I was
They're
gonna
not
say.
meat chickens.
I was gonna say they're children, but like that's just sounded pretty morbid.
You like, hey, they're unborn babies.
Unfertilized unborn babies, but
Yeah, I don't. We're not leaving that in. That's got to go. That's got to go. What just happened?
sorry.
It got dark real quick.
No, but what I meant to say, I was thinking of like the physical aspect of gardening and pruning trees and fruit bearing bushes and things. I just had an awesome image of the Lord cutting off old dead branches or just ones that aren't producing very well. Reading through this.
Yeah, I like the analogy too. And when you were talking about him, I really wanted to hear more, but everything you said, I was like, well, if I planted that in Arizona, it would die. That would die. That would die.
You're in a desert, buddy.
Yeah, that sounds like. I wish I could plant kiwi and all that stuff. And somebody's gonna be like, "You could do it," but not me.
White.
Don't.
That's gonna be a
White.
thumbnail.
Don't.
Ah, pun intended.
That's funny. One of the things that I wrote down that as I was reading this, and kind of what you were mentioning, Taylor, like it's a physical thing. Like you are cutting off what's dead, not bearing fruit, pruning to bear more fruit. So I just wrote that you can't stay connected to God accidentally.
Good one.
Thank you. As we go a little further down, something that, again, a verse that I've known and kind of had like a very vivid image in my mind was John 15:12. Well, actually 13, but it starts at 12. It says, "My command is this: love each other as I have loved you." So it's back to that again.
Everybody love everybody.
Bread is
But
another
then,
movie.
is it a movie?
It is a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Okay, I got it. We're in the Bible now, John 15, verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. And I think of a friend of mine, he was in the military. I was working for the sheriff's office. He showed me this picture, and it's this, it's like a U.S. soldier. I don't know what branch he was in. His shirt was off. He's like in a helicopter. He's got, like obviously was injured badly in battle. He's got IVs hooked up to him. I think he's got a oxygen mask on, and he's got a tattoo on his ribs, like his side, that says, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for his friends." And a lot of times, like you read that and it's like, wow, that's really cool. Like this meaning, and the picture has so much meaning, like more than 1,000 words for that picture. And to already have like if I hear that just by itself, I go to that picture and it like so many emotions and just pain for him and his friends and family, that I don't know what happened to that soldier. I just know that there's a picture and he was not doing good. But to read this whole chapter and then come up on it and realize that's where it's at and to see everything around it, the more I'm doing this, the more it's just like, it's just a lot deeper than cool tattoos and cool pictures with quotes on them and verses on them and stuff. They hit a little more.
No, that's for sure. I think the one that I wrote down was remain in me and I will remain in you. I think that has a lot more behind it now, like what's around since we're reading what's around it. And I mean, you even said it today, staying connected to God has to be intentional. That's something that we have to do daily. And I think a lot of people want, the fruit of closeness with God while neglecting the roots. And we all understand like the roots matter because those things survive, the storms we go through, all the stuff that we're going through differently. So yeah.
I think I heard you wrong at first. In order to get the fruits, we have to prepare the roots. Is that what you said? I heard fruits and fruits.
Fruits and roots, yeah,
Yep.
they rhyme.
Sounds
But
like it'd be a good
I thought you
good
said
t-shirt
fruits for
slogan.
both. I was like, I have zero idea what you mean. Like, in order to get the fruits, you got to ignore the fruits. And I was like,
what I said was people want the fruit, like that closeness with God, while neglecting the roots.
that sounds deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that better. That's more Marty deep right there. Taylor,
Yes.
tell me something good.
Jumping off of those verses, verse 16, he says, "You did not choose me. I choose you. I chose you and appointed you to go and bear much fruit, the kind of fruit that endures. And so the Father will give you whatever you ask of him in my name."
What verse was that? Let's start at.
16. Yeah, 16. And my initial thought reading that was, what fruit am I bearing?
I mean, kiwis, cloves.
No,
The chicken's got those.
the chicken's got the grapes and the kiwis, man. But I might have some peaches and plums, and chicken eggs.
Yeah, the way.
Chicken fruit.
To eggs. We're leaving it eggs.
Chicken
It's
fruit.
not anything else.
No, I'm only gonna call them that.
So the way that ends too, and this is something that completely separate from this, but whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you. I went to like there's a dad's group at my daughter's school, and they meet like once a month at the beginning of the month, for like an hour in the morning, and they have like somebody come talk about the Bible or just something, just trying to be better dads and stuff. And we were talking about prayer last week ago, the 6th, whatever that was. But we were talking about specifically like people just like pray and they ask for something, and so many people are like, "Oh, I want $1,000,000." They'll like joke about it like that, but it's right here. It's like saying, "Whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give you." So it's like I feel like it's back to that, His will, like making your will His will again. It's kind of where I connected those dots to. A little bit off topic and a little bit of a stretch, but
Well, I also thought of that, and what would I ask for? Worldly, I'd want, money or things, but that's all just gonna rot. More more plant analogies.
Bad roots.
Just reminded me of the song.
Of course we did. Gosh dang.
What? Don't judge me.
Only God can judge me.
Yep. But it's from our one of my favorites, Mr. Jermaine Cole.
But yes, Jermaine Cole.
Yeah, I think it's off his ATM song. He says, "Can't take it when you die." Talk about money. Can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it. Which I think is pretty solid, which is true. That money's not going to get taken to heaven in that suitcase, you know? So I think that's where it's like, because it's hard, like when you want to ask for stuff, it is worldly stuff because it just justifies your situation or what you're going through. And you think it's going to help, but it's that trust, man. But I got some trust issues sometimes.
I think we all do.
If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. It's John 15:18.
Well, I guess that's it. way to shut us down, Brad.
He was like, move on.
It's like, oh yeah? You sure about that?
I wasn't saying I hate you. I'm just saying that
We might be able to tie it back in. I mean, the world does love money, and anything the world loves, it's the wrong way. But verse 19, it says, I chose you from this world, and you do not belong to it.
that is why the world hates you. Yeah, I like that whole section where it's like basically telling them like be ready because they're gonna, if they persecuted me, they'll persecute you also. But then also if they obeyed my teaching, they obey yours also. Yeah, I don't know. It's that whole section right there where he's just talking about he was sent by his father, and if they know me, then they'll listen to you. Basically, was kind of. I'm sorry, Marty. Are you mad that I interrupted your song?
No, not at all. I just thought about Pikachu. When Taylor said, I chose you.
Oh,
Nerded me. My bad. Might be ADHD too.
It's something, bro. It's something. I don't know.
Okay, I got an appointment.
That's why you gotta. All right, so all 3 chapters. We'll zoom out and basically what I think we zoomed out on is for all 3 of them, they're basically loving deeply, trusting God, and just trusting Him fully, and then being intentional with that connection and bearing that fruit. And like I think we've said every episode, it's not easy. But that's for me, reading these and like stuff I wrote down, what I'm taking from it is that love for anyone, Jesus or family, it's, I don't know if this is going to sound bad, but it's like more sacrificial than people want it to be.
Pretty much, you can't love and be prideful.
Yeah, just staying connected to God's got to be a little more intentional. You can't expect closeness with God while spending no time connected to Him. And I don't know about you guys, but we are 5 episodes into reading these chapters, and I definitely feel much closer to him. Just adding that much more connection to him than I was prior to that. So I've noticed it in my life already. Do you have any closing remarks, Taylor?
Other than talking about the helper, the Holy Spirit, but I was I think the end of chapter 15. He sends
Oh,
his
go ahead.
I was gonna say he sends his helper to literally calls him the helper will come, the spirit, and assist us because we are human, and he already knows we're gonna fall and fail.
To be continued.
Yeah, he tells bringing him in 14, calls him the Holy Spirit, the advocate, and then he brings him back in 15. I don't know if it's
I,
just my translation calls him an advocate, or
I like that one better, but
what does yours say?
the helper.
Oh, okay. That's why when you said the helper, I was like, I'm not following. Like, I was thinking of Marty. Here you go. You ready? I started thinking about the movie The Help. You is kind. You is smart.
I was thinking of The Simpsons. Santa's little helper. You know, the
That's weird.
dog?
But yeah, so I think I do like how he brings the Holy Spirit into that. He's like, the advocate comes whom I will send to you from the Father. But then at the end, it does say, and you also must testify, for you have been with me from the beginning. Yeah, I love that. And I wanted to eventually get into the disciples more, like their beginnings and kind of their struggles. But I don't want to say it's comforting, but I don't know another word to know that these guys like gallivanted around, you know, all over town with Jesus, saw him heal the blind, you know, the paralyzed, raise the dead, and they still, like Peter's like, denies him 3 times. Judas, I don't even, crazy that he can do what he did. And they literally saw these things with their own eyes. And then here we are having similar discussions and trying to figure that out. It just,
Yeah, they have the same doubts, but they saw it with their own eyes.
yeah. And you know what? I don't want to go too much longer because I don't want this to be a 2-hour podcast. But I was thinking this at one point when I was reading. If Jesus came today, like say this didn't, like, the Bible and none of this stuff had happened yet, but he came today and he comes walking around downtown Phoenix, downtown Dallas, and he's saying some of this stuff, like, they'd put him in a mental institute. You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, how many people would hear that today and be like, "Oh, yeah." But if I saw it, I don't know. Like, for them to see it and be like, "Yeah, I don't know. I still having troubles believing this." Why do you get so quiet?
So I'm thinking, man. Because,
Like, no,
like,
like your background noise and everything disappeared. I was like,
are you muted?
"No, I wasn't talking."
You're doing that quiet booth thing? I
We
don't
had
know.
to delete that.
I just feel like if we were to see some of this stuff today, I still feel like some of us would doubt, especially like the blind, curing the blind. Like I feel like some of us would still doubt that. I think the only one that maybe we'd be able to kind of like be like, oh dang, is, you know, the Lazarus story.
I don't know. I think I've heard stories about people getting up and. Are you okay? I think I've heard people like there's stories of people like they thought they were dead and then they weren't dead.
Yeah, but they were like being resuscitated and all that. Like this guy was dead for how long?
Well, that's what I mean. They're like in the morgue and they like woke up. I'll look it up. I'll see the stories, but it's different. It's different. Like it wasn't somebody came down and said, "Lazarus, come out." It's different, but yeah, I don't know. It was just something I thought about. It's like
And
just a lot different.
the water into wine would be pretty cool downtown. Just saying.
I was thinking more so kind of trying to explain his miracles with modern science. Like you're kind of saying, oh, he was somebody was resuscitated or whatever. But my mind goes to explain these miracles logically.
Like there, yeah, and like it was because of modern science that the miracle happened, not because God had anything to do with it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people today would say, but back then, they didn't have modern science. Well, I guess they did have modern science for the time, but they didn't have the
They had
technology and stuff.
witchcraft, and the
Yeah,
Pharisees were calling Jesus a
yeah, that's
demon.
true.
Some of
That
them.
is true. Yeah. All right. That was 13 to 15. Not our best works. I'm gonna be honest. Sorry. Um,
We didn't write it.
16 to 18. I, I
We're
just meant the last hour and 9 minutes. We've done better. We've done worse. So, um, 16 to 18 coming up next. And then we have one more episode of that at 19 to 21. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. Who wants to pray us out of here?
oh snap.
Wow.
Hey, I did it last week.
All right. Marty. God, thank you for this conversation and for everyone listening. We just want to ask you to help us love people better and to trust you more. Just help us to stay connected to you daily and keep shaping our hearts and teaching us how to truly follow you. God, we just ask you to protect our families, guide our steps through all this, and use this podcast however you want. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.